All
clinics.
right, and we are live. Welcome back, good people. This is your host, formerly known as Bad Luck Chuck, at CP for the win on all your social media platforms. My guy Kirch is on the right. Don't
What
forget to
happening?
don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share all your social media platforms. Watch this on Twitter. Please hit the retweet and like button and share to everyone that you know. And hit the hype button when the video is done with if you're watching this on YouTube. Anyhow, country, how you feeling, man? We got some more shakeups here in the building.
I'm bored, man. We ain't made no moves. We ain't did nothing. Like, man, it's just been boring off season. So
I don't know, man. To me, man, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit of excitement in the building. But
no, I'm joking, bro. Yeah, I'm excited, man. We made some moves. We haven't really got to dice it up. We haven't been on here in a while. It feels like we haven't made a show in a while. So let's break it down and talk about what happened over the last week or so.
yeah, man. So yeah, let's go and get to the main breaking news here. It's official that Will from attorney would bring it back Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator. You guys already know when he was here in Kansas City as the offensive coordinator from 2018 to 2022, Senior Chiefs finished top five in both office categories. The running game, he's gonna help rejuvenate that a little bit. I know the last time he was here, basically like middle of the pack as far as the running game. Because everyone knows, Andy Reid's gonna like to focus on that. But hopefully we can see that a little bit more, and
You are
that's
staticky, bro. I don't know what's going on with you, but you like fade now.
I am.
Yeah, you good now. Whatever
Can you
you
hear me?
did just then, do that again.
All right. So yeah, man. As everyone knows, Andy Reid loves to throw the football. You know what I'm saying? Like and we can't help that. It's hard to teach a old dog new tricks, as everyone says. So there's that, man. So country, like, how do you feel about them making a decision to hire EB back as the OC?
Um, I wanted some new people initially, and I didn't really think I wasn't impressed by all the candidates that was out there. I know a lot of people keep talking about Nathan Shieldhouse. I ain't really familiar
Rockhurst
with him,
legend.
huh?
I said Rockhurst legend.
Rockhurst legend, which I never went to Rockhurst, so I don't care. Um, I wasn't really. I don't think I wasn't really a big fan. Mike McDaniel, I'm not really a huge fan. Cliff Kingsbury, yeah. Um, so I was a fan of just maybe interviewing them guys, but then the more the time went on, the more it looked like it was going to be Eric Bieniemy. And from all indications and from all reports, it looked like Eric Bieniemy been the guy since before Christmas.
Yeah, like they had this plan well in advance.
Yeah, this was
Well in
this was
advance.
planned well in advance. Chad O'Shea was planned well
Of
in
course,
advance.
DG with his faces.
I get it, DG, but it's just it is what it is, bro. It is what it is at this
And,
point.
and look,
Um,
and like Nate Taylor as report. And shout out to Nate Taylor. He's done a great job reporting on this stuff, per usual. But he said if it wasn't EB, it was going to be one of Indy's guys regardless. It was either going to be Doug Peterson, Mike Kafka, or Joe Blameyer, which would have been the worst candidate out of all the candidates that were mentioned. Like there was no new names outside the tree. Like all the
yeah,
reports we was hearing, like the Chiefs weren't going to choose outside the culture tree. And look, and I get it. I would have been in favor of choosing outside the tree too. I would have opened up the new ideas. Nathan Shieldhouse, yeah,
yeah,
Mike McDaniel, yeah, but it was clear that the Chiefs were never going to go that route.
yeah. Um, I thought Kafka. I actually thought Kafka was going to be the guy, but
That would have been the second best option.
here's the thinking. Here's the other thing about the new voices. I know people wanted new. Even I asked for new voices, but it seemed like this isn't some fly by night plan that they got. They're not flying on the seat of their pants. This has been a plan that's been put in motion step by step. All of this is planned out. I know somebody that's about to get hired. They haven't even announced it yet. I don't even. I didn't even Chuck. I talked to you about it,
Yeah.
but they they got their ducks in a row. This line, this isn't. This has been planned out. It's been thought about. It's been talked about in the building, bro. Like this is not just some fly by night. It just damn. Eric Bieniemy is no Eric Bieniemy been the guy apparently. You know what I'm saying? So even if you don't like that it wasn't no outside guy, I respect the fact that they had a whole plan put together before they made these moves. I feel like you gotta at least respect that part about it. You know what I'm saying? Before get mad.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man.
Uh, yeah.
If they draft correctly, yeah, I mean
I,
that's
I
another
think
thing.
before the draft, if they handle free agency the right way,
Yeah, that's
I'm not
another
worried.
thing.
Yeah, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot of questions that have not even started to begin to be answered yet, and everybody got this opinion of how it's going to go, and some people feel like it's going to be mad successful. Some people feel like it's going to fail. Some people feel in the middle. It's cool to have those opinions, and we had a whole conversation about people having opinions and all that. It's cool to have those opinions, but to form a conclusion already is kind of crazy to me because we don't know how it's going to play out. We don't know. We still don't have a running back coach. We still got like two more openings on the staff. He fired like 5 guys. We haven't replaced all the guys. Are we 1,000% sure all the defensive staff is staying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's still changes that can be made to what we're doing. There's still guys out there that we need to talk to. So I'm not going to form my total conclusion yet and be like, oh man, this is going to fail. I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it until it happens. I can't say it's going to be successful till it happens. So it's cool to have your opinion, and like I said, I know we've been talking about opinions a lot. It is cool for you to have your opinion. It's okay. You can love it, you can hate it. That's fine to me. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I'm gonna see how it play out. And the bottom line is, do you trust Andy Reid?
Listen, there's some people that with their disagreements. You know what I'm saying? Like defenses have changed, a bit since Airbnb has left Kansas City, and there's not many guys left from when EB was coaching here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bunch of younger guys now. People are concerned, whether EB can get the best out of what's on the roster right now and what's to come of the new talent that's coming, whether it's through the free agency or draft. But my thing is, EB everywhere he's gone, I mean, for the most part, you got results. Now,
Yeah.
there's a situation in Washington where it didn't go well, but Washington was a dump. You know what I'm saying? Like, front office wasn't on the same page with the coaching staff. Ron Rivera was over the hill. Jack Del Rio playing this soft defense, where you just rush for, or you worry about gap control. It wasn't really effective. The wide who knows who the wide receiver coach was there. You know what I'm saying? Like all kinds of things went wrong in Washington. It wasn't just EB. Now, EB, what he did do, he's the reason why Sam Howell's still in the league. Cause Sam Howell, he threw for 4,000 yards. He wasn't great, but he threw for a bunch of yards, and that was enough to still get him a job in the league still. Now he's the
I,
third string in Seattle.
I don't know what happened
Wearing
at
his six.
UCLA, but Washington was destined to fail. That wasn't Washington. Washington don't have a good
UCLA too.
ownership, bro. Huh?
When the last time UCLA been good in football?
Uh, when Napoleon Kaufman, I don't know. I don't.
Been a very long time.
It's been a while, but Washington is like they badly ran, and they still badly ran, and they got better talent there now with a quarterback that they didn't even know when to shut down when he should have been shut down earlier than he was. But uh, this is the main thing to me. Andy Reid completely trusts Eric Bieniemy to be the good cop or to be his opposite of what he is. And I think somebody said it that Andy Reid's too old to be like coaching every day. I think Shady McCoy said it.
I mean, a few people done said that right
And
now.
and EB is about to be, that guy. Some people are gonna not like EB. Um, I don't know. I want to see how Rasheed Rice responds to EB. I want to see how Xavier Worthy responds to EB. I want to see how defensive guys respond to his coaching, his style of coaching, and his method of coaching. Uh, yeah, I mean that's the job, though, bro. That's the job. He might end up being a scapegoat if it doesn't go well. He might. I think that's the job, though. I think that's why their job isn't that attractive too. Because if it goes wrong, everybody gonna look at you. Damn, Chuck. Damn, bro, you can't run the offense, Chuck. You don't know how to run the ball. You can't run from under center. All you gonna run is verticals. That's all you gonna do. You ain't gonna run no digs, no mesh, no concepts. You don't have no route running.
Shit, we need to do less mesh.
No, but that's the point though. Everything's gonna be your fault anyway. Because they're not gonna blame Andy, right?
For sure.
No, I'm saying,
Yeah,
no,
you're
this is what I'm
right.
saying.
You're right.
Taking the job, you're gonna get all the all the bad stuff and none of the credit. It's a being the Chiefs OC is a thankless job, bro. That's why if I'm Mike McDaniel, I'm not looking at Kansas City as a job. Why? I'm not gonna get none of the credit. He gonna get all the credit, and everything that go bad, he gonna get. I'm gonna get.
And then plus, he get to be in nice weather again. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a plus. Even though Chargers never won anything.
I,
Yeah. I mean,
bro,
yeah.
I'm not sure that it don't work. Like, are we sure the Andy Reid system is not? That's the thing. And I'm not coming at him, but that's the thing. DMAC been preaching about. The system is structurally and fundamentally, and all them big words DMAC use. It's all broke. I don't believe that. I can see there were issues. It did get stale. It was times that we needed other things, and we did need some fresh eyes. And I get all that. I don't think the whole system is broke. There's too many people that run the damn system for it to be broke.
Bro, part of that was coaching, dog. Like, yeah, was there maybe some flaws in there? Yeah, but I think mostly it pertained to coaching, dog. Like Matt Nagy and Connor Embry. Those are the main two names right there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Con- Connor
and
Connor Embry was basically a nepo hire. You know what I'm saying? That was like somebody doing him a favor. We ain't
and
never heard
that's
this
the
dude coaching or anything.
that's another
Preach.
thing about that I'm hearing that Andy Reid's not willing to change. Andy Reid fired 5 coaches, bro. That's changed to me. I, it's like, oh, country ain't changed, but tell the truth ain't on Kingdom Cast no more. That sound like a change to me. What the like? We just gonna walk out like it's everyday business? Like that's changed to me, bro. I don't know how that keeps being a topic that he's not changing, but he fired damn near all of the offensive staff.
Yeah, I mean that's technically changed right there. So my thing is this, man. I know what I'm gonna get in when EB arrives in the building. Like everybody said it, accountability, details. Like we're gonna make sure the details are on point again. Like those are the two
Mhm.
main things. But people act like I seen the video today with Nate Tice. I seen that 7 minute clip, saying that it's still gonna be 90% the same stuff that we've been known from Andy Reid and this Chiefs offense. But I disagree with that. I think it's gonna be a little less than 90%. I'll say around 80, 85%, just to be fair. And I think it'll be enough of a tweak to where it's not gonna be a lot of the same stuff. Like, of course, it's mostly gonna be the same stuff, but y'all act like Airbnb hasn't been the main one that gets to Andy Reid's ear. Of all the offensive guys that have been on the Chiefs coaching staff, Andy will listen to EB the most. Like, does he listen to him all the time? No, of course not. Andy's still gonna be stubborn here and there, but
Yeah,
EB seems to push Andy just enough to change.
Right.
So
And
that's my thing.
between EB and Pat, man, I think that you know you can't you can't keep coming in like you. I think people got complacent. I think people got comfortable in their jobs. I think
Patrick
people were
Mahomes said I
scared.
effed up. Patrick Mahomes said I effed up clearly in that IG story. He was all in favor of EB returning.
Yeah. Um. And the thing from the Super Bowl where the coach was like, "I'm scared to coach Mahomes. I'm scared of him. I'm scared to fail him."
Disgusting, man.
But you had to replace that. And unfortunately, we had to go through a bad season to get those changes. But maybe that change was going to come either way. I don't. Clearly, Matt Nagy was done. So first of all, you can't say that's not a change when immediately your OC and Andy's guy and Pat's guy is allowed to gracefully walk out the building. You feel me? That sounds like change to me. Then you get the Nepo hire, and sorry, Connor Embry, bro. Sorry, bro. It is what it is. Probably the guy that kept failing. He lost his wide receivers. They're not listening to him. They're lazy. They're jogging on routes. Xavier Worthy don't know where the out of bounds line is. He lost the team. Yep. Bye. See ya. Then you get the running back coach who's really a wide receiver who probably should be coaching the wide receivers. Instead, he's looking at the running backs. He don't know what the hell he's doing. Ty Pinkston. I'm sorry, bro, but bye.
Yeah, they said that dude was possibly getting groomed to be an offense coordinator in the future or whatever, but I feel like he could have done he would have been a much better option than wide receiver coach because he played a position. And DG, man, look, that's to be expected anyway. Like, we're gonna get a shotgun draw every now and then on 3rd and 2. Like, that's not gonna surprise me, but we're gonna see less of it. That's what I want. Here's what I'm hoping for with EB and with part 2. I'm hoping EB can convince Andy Reid enough to run more under center plays.
Yeah.
That's one thing. We run some more plays under center, we'll be all right.
Here's the thing that not enough people are talking about or don't mention. Why don't you think Andy Reid saw what you saw and admits to himself, hey, I need to switch that up? When's the last time Andy Reid been embarrassed and not changed up?
I mean, his tenure in Philly at the end.
Yeah, but he came here
Yeah,
and he switched up when he came here.
yeah.
He switched up multiple times here. He switched up when Alex was here. He switched up when Pat became the man. He switched up when EB left. Apparently, he switched up when EB left. Wow. Just lost the background.
Yeah, what the heck? I don't know why our background got erased. I can fix
I,
that.
I believe he ain't switched it up in 3 years because it was working and it was working those 3 years. What was he gonna
That,
switch?
that was weird, but okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, guess who was on that coaching staff the past
Here
three
we
years
go.
as the OC?
Who?
Matthew Nagy. You saw Patrick Mahomes' production get reduced these last 3 seasons, bro.
Yep.
What's up, D man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Good. Can't complain, man. Country. Hope you're doing well.
I'm good. I'm good. I was just drinking this smoothie I made.
You can. What'd you put in the smoothie?
Hey.
Mango, strawberries, grapes, watermelon.
Oh, that's a good combo right there.
And some
Not bad.
tropical juice. Yeah. I'm trying to be here, so I'm gonna drink healthy. Anyway, we talking about EB. What's the thing? Okay, so you have the point that you thought, and this is where our riff is. You think it's fundamentally structurally broken, the system, the scheme, or whatever. I don't think it's broken. I think the pieces that were coaching, the pieces were terrible. I think you lost something in relation from the coach to the field. From the coach to the player to the field. I think something got screwed up, and I feel like those breakdowns are no longer on the team. Now you got a guy like EB who's a hard ass. He's gonna talk. He's gonna talk to his players. He can coach the guys up. I think you got a guy in Chad O'Shea who's experienced, got 20 years in the business, been through a lot of systems, been under a lot of guys, smart guys too, that can come in and coach your wide receivers up. Because clearly Connor Embry wasn't teaching them anyway, and he had lost the wide receivers anyway. So automatically, I think inexperience, and I know you're gonna say it's a low bar, but it's a bar nonetheless. That needed to be cleared, hurdle, whatever. So I feel like we got better people in position. So the better people in position, and then I feel like now the part is, and we're not done yet. So we're not done with the entire staff. But I feel like now if you add better talent and then you have better coaches, then you could bridge that gap of the disconnect that it was displayed last year.
I think that there was something that was lost in translation as far as from coach to player, as far as execution. And I think that certainly as far as the implementation of details from a running back perspective and a wide receiver perspective, that is something specifically that can improve by having EB in place and certainly by having Chad O'Shea in place. And Chad is a spectacular upgrade over what you had in Connor Embry. That is something I will not doubt. I think EB is a marginal upgrade over Matt Nagy. I know other people would say otherwise, but that is just how I am safely putting it. Now he has the potential for more, and we'll see if that ultimately happens. The thing is, when I watched the play last year, it was not a execution exclusive issue. There were plenty of times in which there were execution question marks and things that did not get executed properly. But there were also far too many times in which I felt like what you were running structurally made no sense. And some of the drop back passing game concepts, just pure drop back, where you're not necessarily anticipating any type of play action, anything of that nature, just pure drop back situations. I think the passing game concepts were easy to be predictable. I thought that the play action passing game was largely devoid of the threatening nature that comes with a standard running game, an effective running game, but certainly a running game that is married to create advantages as far as the passing game is concerned. So, and then the aspect of the run game, the fact that you're doing all of the shotgun runs that you continue to do, the fact that I don't think that you probably took advantage of an offensive line that consistently can move people off the ball. I agree with you that there is a bucket of execution things that will improve by having EB and O'Shea here. But I also think that there's an entire more in depth and unfortunately wide ranging bucket of things that have to do with the scheme and the design of those things, design of the offense as a whole. So I guess to distill it, it's just, I think that there are certain things that EB and Chris O'Shea or Chad O'Shea automatically will fix on day one, and just by being there in their presence. But the other aspects of the scheme that I felt were significantly harmed, and other people that were observers around the league felt had significantly become outdated, that is the question mark of if you can evolve that. And I don't have a deep wealth of confidence that is going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, like, here's my thing. Like, yes, like part of it was execution, but the other thing is Matt Nagy, he was just terrible at starting plays with Andy Reid when it came to game planning, man. And it showed on the field. Like, you even saw wide receivers running to each other with certain routes. Like, that wasn't a thing beforehand. Like just go beyond the past 3 years. Like, through 18 to 22, I didn't see no type of fundamental mistakes that often in comparison to what we've seen from the last 3 years. That's just my thing. So I think that gets cleaned up.
I think that you would sometimes see issues with the wide receivers being in the wrong place or not necessarily running the crispest of routes. But I also think that that's a feature of Andy Reid's passing scheme in general. But I think that did exist under EB. Now, the good thing is, I think that that's something that with O'Shea in tow should necessarily be even lesser than even when EB was here. So that's a good thing. So I think that in that aspect, I think that works in tandem. But attention to detail across the board was a point that I do think got worse under Matt Nagy that I think that
Yeah,
EB will.
they even got the clip of Pat saying he wasn't even lined up right on the what was a Scott Moore touchdown.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
my bad, we had messed that up. Matt Nagy was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know. Like, what? Like, why you didn't say nothing? Like, but even though they weren't lined
But
up
that
and were doing other things, they were still able to execute, and that might just be Pat Mahomes.
You're talking about the Super Bowl?
Yeah, Super Bowl against Philly.
That was
where
EB was
EB was there too.
That was EB's final year.
Yeah, EB was there.
Yeah.
But they did line up wrong. You did remember that correctly. They did line up wrong.
Yeah.
There for that.
No, I wasn't.
You said DJ.
I know. That was EB.
DG
I'm
came right in
saying
with that comment.
when he came back to the sideline, he was talking to Matt Nagy at that time. That's what I was saying. But I know DG. I'm a real fan. I know.
I'm interested to see how Xavier Worthy develops. With EB coming back. I mean, that's one thing I'm looking forward to seeing because we've seen at times, Xavier Worthy has questions of, field awareness. Like sometimes he don't know where the sideline is at times and, stuff like that. So I'm interested to see, with EB returning and the hiring of Chad O'Shea, if Xavier Worthy improves overall as a player. That's one thing I'm interested to see.
Well, he better improve as a player. That would be a significant disappointment if he didn't improve as a player. I think that one thing, and again, this is not an EB specific thing to me, but I'll get into the way that EB can affect this. But I think that with I'm going to mess this up so many times.
Chris sound better though.
It does. Didn't it used to be a Chris O'Shea, or am I just making that up? Do I misremember?
It sounds familiar.
I mean, it might be. It might have been a Chris O'Shea, but yeah, Chad O'Shea.
So Chad O'Shea being here, and this is, I think, it's an important distinction for the Chiefs fans to understand. What Chad O'Shea is going to be able to do is on a week-to-week game plan installed day-to-day basis of saying, hey, these are the little things that within the confines of this offense, we need to be keying in on based on the film. This guy does this under these circumstances. And when they do this, this means that this type of coverage, this type of run fit is coming, and you need to be ready to react to it accordingly. Those are the types of things that on a week-to-week basis that can give you little edges that can help you throughout the course of a season. And he has been doing this long enough. He understands the position well enough to be able to point those things out to these guys. And particularly when you talk about him on the Patriots, the detail-oriented nature of the entire team, certainly the wide receivers working with Tom Brady, that is an area that I think is very key to point out. The conversation as far as Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, specifically Rashee, I would say more so, being true number one wide receiver, getting better versus man coverage, Xavier Worthy having a better understanding and awareness of the sideline, getting better at being able to run certain routes or tracking the ball, et cetera, et cetera. Those are things that these guys have to do on their own. These are things that those guys during these spring and summer months are going to have to get better at on their own. That's not necessarily the stuff that he's going to be able to do. O'Shea is going to be able to do for them. They got to develop as players. They got to want to develop as players, and then they got to go out there and put the work in to do so. So I'm not expecting a massive leap to come as a result of O'Shea, but I am expecting the details of things to be better game plan oriented and us to be prepared to play these defenses week in and week out to be improved over O'Shea. And the other thing I was going to say as far as EB is concerned, they got to be able to use these guys better and put them in positions to succeed. Stop having Rashee Rice in the backfield on crucial third down conversion situations. In between the 20s, he shouldn't be running out of the backfield. Stop using Xavier Worthy on go routes. That's not how you use him. Using them more intermediate routes. However, that I think is more of a schematic shift that would have to happen, not necessarily just teaching these guys better. So that's the question mark that I have as far as, I guess, the EB conversation around the wide receivers is concerned.
Okay. Do you have any faith or any belief that Andy Reid seen the same things that you saw and is willing to change? Not completely, but to, I don't know, add things or get rid of things? Or do you think he looked in the mirror in the offseason? Because usually we have a bye week and then you come back and then, oh, why does this team feel different? Like they do the self-evaluation during bye week, and then I don't know what happened this year. They came out the bye week and looked like the same damn thing.
That was the most concerning thing, that it came out of the Broncos week and nothing changed. And that's why I was like, okay, well, that's not good. I expected X, Y, and Z to change because we had seen this on film to begin the season. So I figured Andy Reid would have seen it too. But the things that were supposed to change didn't change at the bye week. I'm sorry, continue, finish your question.
No. Just said I was rambling anyway. I feel like I trust Andy enough that I feel like he's going to self-evaluate. I feel like he's probably at the building. He's been at the building since the season was ending, and looking at what went wrong and what can I fix? What can I throw? Get rid of that and then add this. And I think that's why he's adding more of his own guys that he trusts, so I can just lay back and put my focus on the game plan and installing and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I can be CEO, and here's my COO that runs the shit, and he dictate, and I ain't got to deal with your day-to-day. I ain't got to deal with, if I'm running Kast and DMAC, oh man, I got to run tell the truth at the same time. I got to book your gas. I got to put your format out like that. No, I trust you to run tell the truth the way you see fit, and I don't have to be digging. I just throw my little thoughts in every once in a while, but it's you're free to do what you want to do. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like there's adding your guys, and I'm trying to almost justify the process of what he's doing, but adding his own guys. And I might be fighting a losing argument with you. I probably am, but it's all good. I think does the trust factor, does that add to, I can just sit back and look at my schemes and what was going wrong, because now I trust that EB is going to have the guys ready when they get to me. You feel me? Or Chad O'Shea is going to have the wide receivers ready when they get to me. Whoever we hire at running back coach is going to have them ready when they come to me. So I can just do my game and be my creative genius that I've been previous to this.
So
does that make any sense? No,
it does. It makes sense. So I want to ask you a question, but I want to more specifically answer your question first. In the idealized version of this, Andy would see it. He would take into that account and be like, I got to start taking some stuff from other places and be able to understand what is going to beat modern defenses at the highest level. And that is being able, and I'm not reinventing the wheel as far as it's concerned. It's being able to move the second level, open up the intermediate areas of the field, create play actions off of an explosive and dangerous run game. Like those are like the fundamental principles that you can be able to get after defenses with in the modern NFL. My confidence level that he sees those specific schematic issues and wanted to try and evolve the offense accordingly did take a hit by the process that led him right back to his old offensive coordinator, who has done nothing at every stop but run the stuff that he knows. And again, I know the results were bad, and it was bad circumstances necessarily, but schematically, he did nothing but run Andy Reid stuff. So that's why the fact that he just ran right back to that comfort level was concerning for me as far as the process is concerned. Now, Ideally, if he does that and then says, hey, I trust EB and O'Shea and whoever the running back coach is to have these guys ready to be able to implement the things that I feel is necessary to improve the defense, then yes, that makes sense as far as a pathway. The question I would have for you is, do you think that that is a significantly easier or a significantly more comfortable process? Now, actually, let me ask it a different way. Do you think that he chose to go this route because it was the easiest pathway or because it was the most comfortable pathway compared to talking to people from outside of his system, bringing somebody in to mesh these things together alongside this type of offensive coordinator that comes from a different tree, and then being able to implement it down the line? Because the other question, well, I'll allow you to answer that question, and I'll have the secondary question of if you think.
Let me see. I actually, while you were talking, I was thinking this. I think Andy Reid might have punted on this season. And when he looked at it and said, damn, I don't trust these guys to get anything done. I don't trust Matt Nagy to get it done. I don't trust that he's going to have them ready by the time they get to me. I don't trust his running back coach. I don't trust all the people he got rid of. And
you're saying during the season or before the season?
Yeah. I don't know if that's an indictment on Andy Reid or anything.
That'd be a bad indictment on Andy Reid. But are you saying before the season or during the season?
I'm saying during the season.
Okay, yeah.
Because there was a period where, okay, it started off bad. You had a couple bad things, and then you got it together. It looked good, and then the Josh Simmons thing, and then the injuries started piling up, and it really became we ain't got it this year. I don't really. It's bad to say, but
no, the only thing I push back on is that it's not because they didn't come out of the bye week how they should have. And again, it is important to remember they had Rashee Rice in that game, they had Xavier Worthy in that game, they had their tackles in that game. If there was ever to be a distilled version of this team to say, hey, we are going, because again, the AFC West was essentially on the line in that game.
Is this the Broncos game you're talking about?
Yeah, the Broncos game.
Okay.
You are going to come here and be like, we're going to put everything we can as far as a regular season performance is concerned into winning this game because we got our guys. That should have been the time that you came out swinging. And the fact that they still came out with the same outdated scheme things, not doing things from the right aspect, a lack of discipline, and there's a whole bunch of things as far as the defense, I would still say. The fact that that's the reality, it doesn't necessarily strike me as, hey, you gave up, you had punted on the season by that point. I don't think that you're saying that they did because they still had a shot. It's just, it feels like that would have been the game to prove it. And the fact that they didn't prove it, A, means that they were trying at that point, but B, and more importantly, that there's a lot of things deeper necessarily to get into than it was just the injuries, which did pile up by the time that we got past Christmas beyond, or that Christmas.
I'm not excusing the bad.
I was just couching it that way. So, yeah, I don't necessarily think I think he looked around by the end of the season and was like, hey, I'm trying to train these guys up, and obviously it's not working this time. We got to get some experience in here. I do think he said that. Now, granted, I don't necessarily give him a lot of credit for that because it was very obvious, and he never should have given them jobs in the first place. But, he did the right things.
Hindsight is 2020. Also, it was who leaked out that they were possibly talking to EB as far back as Christmas.
That
was that Nate? That wasn't Nate.
It wasn't Nate. I think it came out with the initial report.
You heard it too, right?
It was either Pellisario or it was Ursini, and I think it was Ursini, but I'm not entirely sure as far as that's concerned.
They was trying on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean they were. Yeah, I think that
was that the Cowboys game.
Yeah. They were trying the entirety of the season, which is more concerning than not, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's here nor there. So the second question. So the reason why I asked you the question, as far as if you thought it was easier or comfortable, I think that. If you want to answer.
Okay, I think. Was it easier to find people he was more comfortable with? Is that what you're saying?
Do you think that he chose the path of I'm going to go back to EB because he knows my system and it makes the most sense to do so? You think that he did that because he thinks that was the best way to do it, or because he thinks that that was the most comfortable way to do it?
And
I'm
this
not trying
sounds
to
like
push you to a specific answer because there's positive and negative sides. So I want to make
I
sure
mean,
I'm not trying to
I
push you.
feel like it's a bit of both, and I'm not trying to cop out on the answer, but I feel like EB is definitely comfort. I feel like that was easier to dictate, but I was in. This is what I'm saying. We both were in the conversation of let's get a new voice. Even if I think even during the hate watch we said even if you just interview the guys, I'm cool with that too. You know what I'm saying?
Which
I feel like the same. I feel the same way, but it's like it seems like, and it's been reported that they had this plan in motion. The choices were already made. That's what it feels like to me. And I know you say you sound defeated. It's like no, it's not defeated. I'm just accepting, and that probably sounds defeated anyway.
No,
But
you're
it
saying,
feels like the plan.
the situation.
The reality of the situation. Catchphrase.
Yes.
I'm the only thing that brings me a bit of optimism is it seems like they have a plan in motion. It might not be the plan that we initially agreed on, which we both were in the car of, hey, we need some new voices around here. Just one a running back coach or something. I need somebody new. Mm-hmm. We both were in that, but I do enjoy the fact that they had some semblance of a plan together. It's not willy-nilly. Oh, Eric Bieniemy's available. We know him. Let's go hire him. No, it feels like all of this is set up for a plan, bro. Like I respect the fact that they had a plan, and it's not just they're just flying by the seat of their pants, or it's a panic situation, or they just fired like Buffalo just fired their coach willy-nilly. It feels like. Well, not willy-nilly. It was things that led up to his firing, but you feel what I'm saying?
But this is a very good place to land. I'm saying at the very least, they did have a plan. There is no doubt about it. They were very clear on that plan, and this is where they wanted to go.
We hear on that. At least they had a plan.
Just not the plan that some like.
Yeah, it definitely. Bro, I think everybody on the shows was like, "Yo, we need somebody new, a new voice or something. It's getting kind of stale." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they clearly said, "Hey, we are going to allow Matt Nagy's contract to expire. We are going to bring Eric Bieniemy back, and he is going to be the offensive coordinator. We know we need real experience at the wide receiver, running back coach position, so we are going to actively seek that out." As Chad O'Shea was the number one guy, they made it sound like to go out and get as far as that was concerned, and that's a good thing. So all those, good.
And even that sounded like it was in motion.
Yeah, it was earlier.
Weeks ago, because he was supposed to. He probably should have been going with Kevin Stefanski to Atlanta, but it seems like he had already committed to coming to Kansas City. That's why I feel like okay, they had a plan in motion.
So this is the thing for me. Looking at that plan, the concern for me is when you got to whatever point in the season in which you determined that this was where things were headed, wherever that might have been, it doesn't particularly matter, I suppose. Not really to me. When you got to that point, did you properly evaluate this season in totality and say, what were the things that went wrong here? Did you say, hey, we need more talent? Accurate. We need better accountability? Accurate. Did it get to the point where you looked at this and said, there is a fundamental problem with the way that we are running this offense? And if you never got to that depth of analysis, that is my concern. Because I think that likely that depth of analysis would lead you to say, hey, we need some new ideas from outside of my tree to do so. Now, that being said, it's also possible, I think a little bit improbable, but still possible, that he got to that level, said, the best way for me to do this is to observe and watch other people, understand what I want to implement, and get my guy back that I know can hold other people accountable in a way that I normally don't want to, which Andy Reid, I'm sure, is very self-aware as far as that is concerned, and say, I'll do this part and I'll allow you to be the bad guy in implementing that part. And obviously Shea is part of that plan. So again, possible. I just think less likely based on the pathway that they chose of quote unquote least resistance, comfortability, etc., whatever you want to couch it as. So
But
again,
can you see that being a situation when Pat went down?
What do you mean?
That you said I'm just gonna sit back and evaluate and look at my pieces and all that?
Yes, but again,
because that's right around the time that this plan started to form together.
But that's the question. You
know what I'm
saying? I mean, did you, in whatever space of time in between Pat going down, in theory, if we're going to say at the starting point, and when you decided to bring EB back, did you properly evaluate and come to the understanding that the foundation needs to be fixed? So that's my question. And again, this all circles back to the fact that the process that they chose to go about within said plan simply did not involve talking to outside voices from Andy Reid's tree. And as a result of that, it made me less confident in the fact that they agree with the fact that I think there need to be fundamental changes with the offense. And so I don't know if they got to it. It's possible that they did. We'll ultimately see if they did. But again, just to go back, you asked, what was my confidence level that, that could be a part of it. It took a hit. It took a hit during that process because
it's fair. It's fair. Yeah, look at the product we put on the field last year. Nobody came out of that a 10 out of 10. If you came out of that a 10 out of 10, there's something wrong with you.
I do want to be specific in saying like the results are the results, and you can sit in a somewhat dissimilar way to 2023 and be like, hey, we know everybody dropped the ball in 2023. That just happened as far as the wide receivers were concerned. We know that the left tackle position was a black hole in 2024. We know that happened and that affected things. But these things that I had seen going back to 2021 that had kind of slowly but surely devolved as far as the offensive scheme were concerned into what I thought became a very outdated scheme this year, then it's like, okay, well, did you take the time to properly see that? Or are you just going to say that it was other things, accountability, entry that led to the bad results?
And that's a fair point.
Okay, so I think, my fault, country. All right, here's a question I have for you, D-Mac. So, how much fundamental changes were you expecting before the Chiefs went on ahead and made these hires? That's my question.
Expecting or hoping for?
Either one, man.
I think that after a season in which you saw how poorly the run game was, I hoped that you would have seen that there needs to be a emphasis on the under center aspect of the game. Simply point blank period. Needs to be an emphasis on the under center. Now, what percentage it comes, I don't know, etc. We'll see. An emphasis on that. An emphasis on marrying play action pass game concepts to said under center run game. And not it being the complete foundation of your offense, because it's never necessarily going to be that, but a feature for you to lean on when things get a little bit out of whack necessarily from the pure West Coast things that you like to do on a consistent basis. So that's what I hoped. I did not fully expect you to make the 1 year transition into looking like a Kyle Shanahan offense. That was completely unrealistic and never was going to happen. Certainly not my expectation or even in my wildest dreams. But I wanted that to be a real feature that you can kind of feel like, hey, we can lean on this when times get tough, or a specific matchup that it certainly makes sense to. And then there were minor tweaks as far as some of the passing game concepts I would have hoped to have seen, but I didn't necessarily expect to see a complete passing game schematic overhaul either. It was more so about that under center aspect and using play action off of it.
Okay. So yeah,
I can't see you, so I didn't know you were talking.
No, you good. So my thing is this, man. I think some of those changes are gonna come, but we all agree that at the end of the day, Andy Reid's still gonna like to throw the ball a lot. I mean, that's never gonna change. But I just feel like
which he did when EB was here.
Yeah.
But when EB comes back here, I feel like that's gonna get reduced some. You know what I'm saying? Now,
It did not the
I
last time he did though. We got to be
but
honest about that.
look look, it was like a 2% difference as you would say with the run game or whatever, right?
Hmm.
I'm just looking to see. I think EB part two. I think that increases just a little bit. It may not be like how you want it, but I think it'll be enough of a change to where we can get back on track and be a playoff team. That's
Why
my
do
Okay.
you
opinion. But do,
why
I
do
would ask, even with EB, even if the percentages doesn't change, I feel like he's a better coach of the running. I think he would get more out of the percentage than Matt Nagy was getting. Does that make any sense?
well, I don't even
yeah,
need the
From the
percentage
from
to
the
change,
talent.
and I don't need the percentage to change all that much. Well, the one thing I'll say this: I don't need the percentage to change all that much. Two, it'd be
Yeah,
basically
that's true.
impossible to have that as bad a running game as you get. Like literally, to have that little explosive plays and that combination with how inefficient it was, like that, it would be impossible to be that bad again. So it's going to improve by so much. So I expect it to improve. I expect it to improve greatly, even just by the simple fact of you should have better running back talent in addition to hopefully a better coached running back room. Um, the thing about it is I don't know. I don't have supreme confidence. I don't have a lot of confidence that there is going to be real foundational shift as far as being able to utilize the under center run game and then also marrying the play action passes off of it that's necessary. And that's really the stuff that pass run splits be damned really determines how dangerous your offense is. If you can make your passes look like runs to the defense for the first zero point 0.5 seconds of the play, if your runs catch guys in the wrong gaps and can create explosive plays on a consistent basis of 10, 20-yard gains, those are the things that make your offense dangerous. It running the ball a certain amount isn't going to automatically make your offense dangerous. That's not how that necessarily works. You have to be able to create those advantages with your scheme and how it looks to a defense and make them react accordingly. So,
Yeah.
are they going to do those things? We're going to see.
and
I,
that is a fair question. Because like to me, I'm a little more confident. I think EB is going to incorporate some of those under the center runs that we saw from Chicago. Now, we don't know how much it will be incorporated, but I think it'll be a little tweak in that area. Now, the question is, are we going to run play action out of that? That's another fair question to ask because those are two things I definitely want to see with EP Part Two coming back. So those are fair questions. Those are fair concerns. I'm just a little more confident in you that when it comes to that.
and that's
That's
fair.
all.
That's fair. A lot of criticism about opinions and can you criticize this and all that and can you criticize that? Are you allowed to have the criticism? I think we've discussed this plenty of times. I don't think we've ever discussed it below the surface. We've discussed the surface of it. You know what I'm saying?
So what,
And all
DJ?
that.
Of course, I'm happy
So
nagging on. So what?
Oh,
uh,
so
uh,
that was it. I'm sorry. I want to let you finish your point, and then I want to get back to something Chuck also said. Go ahead.
oh no, I was saying that we've discussed this and debated this, but it was like at a surface level. And when you dig deeper, I think we both have similar concerns. It's just I'm not as far down as you are. You feel me? Like I'm not because you said that it's broken. I don't feel like it's broken. I feel like I feel like there's
Yeah,
still some juice left. Now
it's
I
saying
might be wrong.
saying it's broken. I think is a wrong way to categorize it. I think the run game is broken. I do actually truly feel that way. But I
Okay.
think that the offensive scheme in general still, has sound enough concepts in it that I won't say that it's broken overall. I think it's more outdated, specifically from the use of under center play action to be able to attack defenses. And then some of the true drop back schemes are also outdated, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
The what I wanted to say as far as Chuck was concerned, he mentioned at the end as far as being able to get back to a playoff team, and I know he wasn't intentional in just couching it at the playoff team. I know he understands the championship standard anytime that you have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. But I do think that there's also been a certain level of, because we understand that this was a plan and this plan had been in place. So now we have to reverse engineer us and I'm not saying everybody does, but we now, are reverse engineering optimism out as a result of the plan to say that this was going to work out in its most ideal form. The reason why I think that you can have criticisms of the process is because the process not only informs how you got to the end result of EB, which again is, if I got to it after you talk to outside people, then at least I could feel like you went under the criticism and EB had his earned ways in the job. And I'm not saying that EB didn't earn this job. He has had it before, and the team performed well as far as success is concerned. And that is ultimately in the NFL plenty enough to be able to get you to stay in a job, let alone get promoted to a new one. So I don't want to make it sound like he didn't earn it. But the fact that the fact that now we've reverse engineered this optimism into EB being the guy, the process could then inform some of the optimism about saying, hey, Andy Reid is looking for outside ideas, so therefore he wants to implement outside ideas. The fact that he didn't look for outside ideas, it makes me less optimistic about him wanting to implement outside ideas. So that's the thing about it. It's not just that the end result is EB and that's being criticized. It's not even just that the process led to the end result of EB being criticized. It's what the process could have said about what Andy Reid was looking for. And ultimately, that looking for was the thing that I feel like was most important to be able to be implemented moving forward. And I don't know if it's going to happen.
And my side of that coin is me having faith or trust in Andy Reid that he identified his own problems, or that he looked in the mirror and self-evaluated the mistakes or the staleness or some of those things, and is willing to change those things. That's where my confidence is, or I had confidence in Andy Reid. I think because Andy Reid is a loyal, super loyal guy, and to a fault. And I think previous Andy Reid would have kept Matt Nagy right there and said, "No, I got it. It's my fault. I did it." You know what I'm saying? And just kept those same guys in place. But I think by him firing Matt Nagy showed me that something was wrong last year, and I need that's my change. Because like I said, he held on to Bob Sutton till he couldn't hold on any longer. He did. He was loyal to him to a fault.
I think he reached that same point with Matt Nagy, though. I think that's something. And I actually give Andy Reid credit for this, because Nate Taylor, Joshua Briscoe on Only Weird Games on Tuesday asked Nate Taylor if Matt Nagy's contract had not expired, would Matt Nagy still be here as the offensive coordinator? He said he thinks he would have been fired. So, and again, I take Nate Taylor at his word.
Yeah.
I think that is true. I think that he reached the Bob Sutton point with Matt Nagy, which he should have, and so I think that it would have been continued down that pathway as well. And it's again, I still have more confidence than less confidence as far as Andy Reid being able to implement these changes. It's just that I had a certain level of optimism coming out of the season that he would do that, and it took a hit for the process with which he got to EB. And that is just how I felt about how he should have gone about this, and how it would have informed, in my opinion, his internal thinking about how the offense needs to change. I do want to clarify. I think that O'Shea is obviously better than Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy was offensive coordinator. O'Shea is coming in to be the wide receivers coach. So that's a massive upgrade over Connor Embry, who was the previous wide receivers coach. I think EB is absolutely better than Matt Nagy, to be clear about that.
Yeah. Also, can we briefly discuss this?
All right.
I don't think that being OC for the Kansas City Chiefs is an attractive job at all, by any means. I feel like you're going to take most of the blame.
Attractive than the Eagles.
I think it's less attractive than the. Ooh.
Nah.
Nobody want to be on the.
Nah, I think it's more. I think we're more attractive, man. Because
we might be more
Philly's
attractive
struggling.
than the Eagles.
Philly's struggling right now to get somebody to work with Nick Sirianni.
Do you think it's more or less attractive than the Chargers?
I mean, the
Because
Chargers
it's
just got
similar.
big guy though.
Because Harbaugh is going to get
I'm asking going into this process.
Oh,
Harbaugh
well,
is going to get most of the credit. But if there's a change in Justin Herbert, I think you can get that credit because there ain't been no change.
Well,
Like
most people would say that
if he can get over the hump with you, I think you would get the credit for that if you're an OC.
I mean, most people would say that there isn't necessarily a change in Justin Herbert. They think that he's I'm saying from the general public sense that he's like a top 5 talent in the game anyway. So even if he was good, like they would say, hey, it's Justin Herbert's being good.
Right.
So that makes But I say that I think that actually the offensive coordinator position for the Chargers would be slightly more attractive because you would get the credit for the offense pretty much solely because they look at Harbaugh as more of a top line CEO type of coach. So that's the only reason why.
Yeah.
I think when we went throughout the process, and again, this is an even more in-depth look at how Andy Reid, I hoped he would have went about it. I think that, and maybe not even Andy Reid, just simply the organization as a whole. I think that if you went through this process and you went into an OC, and again, you can apply this to McDaniel, even though I thought that was always the most fantastical aspect of a hire was concerned. But you can apply this to Skillhouse. You can apply this to Brian Fleury, any of the guys that I named that I thought would have been nice as an offensive coordinator. And obviously Stefanski would have taken that coaching job, so take him out. If you went to him and said, hey, this is an opportunity to coach the greatest quarterback in the world. We are going to give you all the support necessary. We are going to be behind you, and we want you to be able to bring in the things that you've been able to do in your previous stops and mesh it with one of the greatest offensive minds ever. And that will help your own personal development as far as your own unique scheme to be able to marry whatever you're coming from, really good offense, XYZ that we're naming as far as the offensive coordinator guys, and mesh it to one of the greatest offensive minds in NFL history and be able to work with him hand in hand with one of the greatest quarterbacks.
These are the pros. These are the pros of the job.
And so the con of it is saying, hey, and this is going to be the question mark. Andy Reid, are you willing to give up play calling to make that happen?
Probably not.
That's the question. And so then that's the point. Hey, if this is something that you're really committed to doing, are you willing to make a sacrifice to make it happen? And is that in the best interest of the Kansas City Chiefs in the rest of the Patrick Mahomes era? That is a question at some point we are going to have to answer. I'm not saying that it's now. I'm not saying that this process is going to be the wrong turn on that pathway. But at some point, we are going to say we have Patrick Mahomes and we don't have Andy Reid. And have we taken the steps necessary to make sure whatever is left of Patrick Mahomes' career post Andy Reid is not wasted? Did we spend too much time capitulating, understandably so, because he was the savior of the franchise, to Andy Reid to make that happen? That's the question mark.
Lord, did you just say capitulating?
Capitulating? Yes.
Oh my God! Somebody look that up and somebody put a definition on that.
To placate.
Okay. All right. Jesus Christ.
All right,
so boy said capitulating.
So that's what I think. This would have been a nice opportunity to say for Andy Reid himself to determine, because he is the arbiter as far as the Chiefs organization, to say, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to show that not only do I feel like this is necessary for the immediate, but also to make sure that we're getting this ready for when I step aside as well. Yes. Yeah. I'll turn the heads aside. I got you. So to make sure
one day we're gonna have to ask the question. One day we're gonna have to ask the question: are you gonna let Andy Reid pick his successor? Or are you going to allow Brett Veach or whoever the general manager is at that time and Pat Mahomes to choose the successor to Andy Reid? That's going to be a big
decision.
All right, so
I do. I trust Brett Veach.
We don't know anything about his selection process.
That is true.
Yeah, because
that is true.
He's never actually gone through an actual process. He just only knows his guys. But here's my thing, man. Here's my thing with the Andy Reid play con stuff, man. This is the thing I get sick and tired of. Here's the thing I get sick and tired of when it comes to the Andy Reid play con stuff. Because the way people talk about Andy Reid's play con, they swear he does 100% of the play con. And I'm like, no. Because, dog, I saw Travis Kelce on NFL Live before we played the Niners in the Super Bowl in Vegas talk about 51, 49%. We know most of it's Andy Reid. Andy Reid get that
He
51%,
does
but
100% of the
EB
play
does
calling.
that 49%.
He
So
does
you tell me
100%
the
of the
players are
calling.
lying? You tell me the players are lying to
Yes.
people?
Yes.
I,
That's
I don't
exactly
believe
what
it.
they do.
no,
Because I seen
Doing
more
I
than
it
agree
one
with
player
D
say
specifically.
Mac.
that. Because I heard
He is
more than one
doing it
player say
specifically.
51,
He's
49%
doing
when
it
it comes to play
specifically because
calling.
they want to make sure that they are advocating for they
Nah,
want to make
man.
sure that they are advocating for EB publicly. Andy Reid does 100% of the play calling.
Come on, man. Because, like, you saw a difference in these last 3 years.
There has not been a
Chuck,
difference.
I
That's
agree with
actually
you
the
on
concerning
I'm
game
just
part.
plan.
saying,
I
dog. I'm
don't.
just saying these last 3 years we've been trash.
No. Don't confuse the two. Game plan wise, EB and
I,
offensive coordinator Matt Nagy as well have a
yes,
significantly so in the game planning week to week. On game day, the person calling the plays is Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. Yeah,
Okay, but it can't be 100% of the time, though. That's all
It
I'm
is
saying.
100% of the time.
bro, I think it is.
It is 100% of the time.
I'm with D Mac on that one. I think you get your input during the week.
I know what the players have said. I understand that. If you ask those that have reported on this, and if you ask those that observe things, it is Andy Reid 100% of the time because it is Andy Reid and he wants to call the plays. That is how he's always operated. He never ceded it in Philly, not even when it got bad. He always held on to it there. He relays it through the offensive coordinator, and the offensive coordinator calls it into Patrick Mahomes.
I agree, D Mac. I mean, DG. I'm sorry. I agree.
It might be what it is, man. I don't know,
No,
dog. But you see a big difference. We've seen a big
because
difference
even
in the
on
last 3
Wasp,
years. That's all I'm saying.
I know you want it to be a big difference. This is Andy Reid has always calls the plays. That is how this goes 100% of the time. That is what he does on offense. Now, could it change? Should it change? Question mark. But that's how it's always been.
Because even on Wasp, EB he said he wants to run Wasp.
Yes.
I think he was talking to. I'm assuming he was talking to Reed at that point, right?
Yes, he would be. Yes.
Okay.
But when you actually look at the actual clip, though, like Andy Reid is like a few feet away from Patrick and EB while they was having their little conversation.
He's asking him. He's saying, hey, he wants to run Ross. Okay, cool. We're on a Ross.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Look.
I think you did say so on the game plan because that's how you get the Rose Bowl play.
Yeah, more so on
that's
the
how
game
you
plan.
get
Yeah,
corn dog.
Absolutely.
But on game day, I think it's Andy Reid all the way.
It's Andy Reid.
Yep.
And I'd love, and again, I promise you, there is nothing more. And again, I also want to make this statement too. If it was an EB after a process in which talking to outside guys, I would be perfectly fine with that. I would be happy about that.
Yeah.
EB coming back, I am obviously rooting for it to work because I am a Chiefs fan. I'm also rooting for it personally because I love EB. And I spent so many years defending EB against people that wanted to throw him under the bus unnecessarily when they thought the play calling was EB's fault, even though he wasn't the person calling the plays, when they were blaming him unfairly for things that were outside of his control. So for me, I want this to work personally for EB just as much as I want it to work just for the Chiefs in general. These are just my critiques because this is how I looked at it going throughout the process as well. And I hope, I won't say I hope necessarily because that's a different conversation, but I think it would be great. It'd be an awesome outcome if it was as simple as Matt Nagy out, EB in. That fixes all the problems. I'm not sure if that's how it goes, but if that's how it went, I would be extremely happy with that, and I'm glad that would be the outcome. I don't know how logical that is. That's the thing.
I think the experience and the coaching that just these two hires off the bring to the mat is going to make it better than it has. It can't get any worse. Can it?
It cannot get worse. It is, and that's it. It is.
I just knocked on wood too. I'm sorry.
Well, assuming that Patrick Mahomes is there for the majority of the season, it is not going to be worse than last year. They should almost automatically have to have a better record than last year by turnover luck and one score game luck alone. So yeah, I don't want to make it again. People are like, "Are you predicting a losing record?" I have my specific critiques, and I think that there are serious and dire consequences if they do not evolve this offense the way it needs to. In addition to the aspects of who they need to upgrade on the roster. But
yeah, now that we're having a real conversation, we were arguing about this all week. Now I'm listening now, and it's not I know it's not emotional. We're not girls or whatever. Sorry. Anyway, um, we're listening and CJ been saying it. I hate CJ. He's so positive. We're all saying the same thing, guys. We're just going about it different ways. Shut up, CJ. You jerk. No, but it's true though. We are literally all saying the same things. We just you're a little bit down on your confidence. That's plain and fair, bro. It's like we all Chiefs fans. We know where we want to get to. So I'm glad we were able to really have because this conversation looked way different Monday, y'all. Just know that.
It sure did.
Chris know. Chris. I always wonder what
I feel like Chris
thinking.
should be in there observing us going back and forth.
Look at these niggas. But
the one thing I wanted to say for Chuck's point again is as far as getting back to the playoff team, there's also the question mark of saying, have you capped the ceiling of improvement? Deciding to stay within really, Chris. Have you capped the ceiling of your improvement by deciding to stay within your comfort zone? Was there a pathway of going outside of your comfort zone that would have led to getting back to a championship level? Or is there only but so much improvement did you cap yourself on as far as being able to stay within the EB realm? And I don't know that. Obviously, we don't know that. It's always a hypothetical as far as alternate.
Who was that?
Probably talking about the spaces.
We talking about behind the things.
Yeah,
Spaces was crazy too.
The space was crazy too. And I think that, and again, time will only tell because it's very possible that next year they're right there being back competing for championships or whatever. But I just that is my other concern of saying, hey, did you go about this pathway, this process this way? And the fact that you didn't explore any other options and find out that one of these offensive coordinators that comes from a different system that was comfortable with not calling the plays necessarily, but still would have come in and being able to implement these things, was willing to do those aspects. Could you have gone throughout this process, offered EB an assistant head coach job while still having the primary aspect of being the running back coach and saying that he would have been able to take that title upgrade from the Bears and come over that way and still hired an offensive coordinator to come in addition to that? Could you have gotten the best of both worlds? I don't know if you explored enough of those pathways as far as the process that you went with that. And ultimately, how much does that change the ceiling on this team next year and beyond? It's a complete hypothetical. But those are the things that I don't know if they got creative enough to explore with the way that they chose to do this as far as the plan was concerned. Now, ultimately, they can win a title. It doesn't matter.
We love D-Mac. We love Tell the Truth. But, if they do go back to the playoffs and are successful and go on a nice little run, your timeline is going to be crazy. You know that, right? He's strong enough to handle it. I believe that. Yeah, and I always got your back. It's going to be, boy.
I think the
thing be on your ass.
The thing that most people don't realize is that whenever I say something, I pick my words very specifically. And yes, I do pick them specifically both to give myself cover and then also for arguments down the line, but also just because I actually mean the specific words that I'm saying. So when things that I say, for example, and I'm going to use this as an example, but I know you won't get offended because I'm saying it simply to choose it. When you said, I thought you weren't in support of the O'Shea hire, I never said that I wasn't necessarily that. I just was saying, hey, these are the things I'm looking at from a logic perspective right now that are striking me as we're reacting to it in real time. And ultimately, when I put out that positive and negative tweet, I looked at it and I said, I probably prefer the positive side of this. So I'm in support of this hire, ultimately, as a result of that. But I never explicitly stated it. And the way that I necessarily was looking at his resume, I understand why it could have come off that way, but I never necessarily said it. So that's just one example of it to say, yeah, sure. If people want to try and duck up me on timeline, I wish them the best of luck. I promise that will not go well for them, but I appreciate the engagement all the same because I do enjoy arguing with people over the internet. So it's cool.
I definitely took note that you are very specific. And it was like, I didn't say support. And I was like, Damn, he didn't say so. Shit. He got
But
Got a good memory too.
but I
He
want to
got
go.
it.
But I want to go on record and say this, man. Like, I have more concerns about Chad O'Shea hire than Eric Bieniemy. But with
Yeah,
that,
yeah. Explain that.
It's
Please
weird.
explain
No,
that. I don't understand that at
yeah,
all.
but
yeah.
but there's a caveat to that. I did say he was in Cleveland. Cleveland has been a dysfunctional organization for I don't know how long, man. It's Cleveland. Like it's hard to get anything jumping up in Cleveland as it is.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I'm willing to give it a chance to say like he was in Cleveland. You know,
But why are you more concerned about that hire than the EB hire?
just cause like all the stuff that I read up on him during his time in Cleveland, like there was like mixed reviews as far as like whether he really has
It's
the ability to
Cleveland, though.
develop wide receivers. But then again, like I said, it's Cleveland. Like
Do,
he
do
like
you weigh his time in Cleveland less than his time with the Patriots? Because he spent more time with the Patriots and obviously had
oh
more success with the
oh I
Patriots.
mean Patriots, that's a different story. Like that's a different
Yes,
time when it came to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And he had success
that's
there.
true. But I think that there are a fundamental thing. So here's the thing, and this is I think it's a very key difference. There are philosophical ways that you can change and off or improve somebody as far as football is concerned. There are mentality ways that you can improve somebody as far as football is concerned. There are, I suppose, schematic and ways that you put guys in place to succeed, things you could teach them, et cetera, et cetera. I think the philosophies that he was under, as far as the Patriots specifically were concerned, is the number one thing that matters the most as far as his resume. They are incredibly detail oriented. I'm not going to tell anybody. We know what the Patriots are about. Incredibly detail oriented. You are doing your job to 150% on every single down, or we will find somebody else that will. And you are accountable to the greatest quarterback in the game. Those three things, 100% of the time that I know he was there, I promise you, Tom Brady would have wrung his neck out if he wasn't keeping that standard within the wide receiver room was concerned. Bill Belichick would not have kept him on that staff for a decade if he was not upholding that standard. So I know that is what he brings to the table. I don't necessarily care that much about him being in Cleveland outside of just looking at seeing if anything really develops from that standpoint. I understand people are like bringing over Stefanski's ideas. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen as a result of that. It is more so the fact that I know he is going to have those wide receivers taught and ready to go from a detail-oriented aspect every single week. And that is way better than I know Connor Embry, God rest him. I don't know. He's not dead.
God
bless his soul.
Don't make the mistake with Lee Corso, man.
Yeah, God bless his
soul. Made a
soul.
mistake with Lee Corso the other day.
God bless him. Was bringing to the table for us in these last years at the wide receiver position. So to me, I don't even necessarily care about whatever Cleveland Browns fans got to say. It doesn't really matter to me. Cleveland Browns are terrible for a reason. They're going to shoot at everybody. It doesn't even really matter to me what he did as a Miami offensive coordinator. Because guess what? I'm not asking you to be an offensive coordinator. I'm asking you to have these receivers ready to play every single Sunday. That is the job that I knew he did for the preeminent dynasty of the 2010s for a decade. I can trust that to the table here.
And that's a fair point you just said right there. Because, I mean, look, at the time, he's with the Patriots. Tom Brady was regarded as the best quarterback in the game at the time. I mean, right now, you have an opportunity to play with somebody that's considered as the greatest quarterback in the game, despite what the media is saying now. Just ignore all that Josh Allen fluff that's going on. But before then, everyone knows that Patrick Mahomes is still the best in the game. So that's
I mean, he made Chad Hogan look good. So.
Well, if you ask Justin Reed, it's Bo Nix, but that's a different conversation.
Oh, no, don't get me started with this nigga. Nah, anyway,
hey, I don't know what Justin Reed was on, bro. He was tripping today.
He said that he thought it was amongst the he thought it was amongst the quarterbacks left, which is still categorically.
And you still wrong, bro.
It's still Matt Stafford.
But hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
As long as you can't show up on Justin Reed's timeline if you criticize him in any way, shape, or form, then he'll fuck you.
When you can flabbergast K. Adams. That's a
Oh
special
my,
talent.
oh
Yeah,
my!
K.
I was
Adams is
watching.
all kinds
K
You
was
saw.
like,
I literally had to clip all 3 of those because her reactions had me crying because I understand it completely. She was like, "Okay,
like, what the hell are you talking
She was
about?
like,
she
"Oh,
was literally
this-
speechless.
She was
She
like, I
didn't
don't
even
know what
say
you.
nothing in the rest
She
of
was
the
like,
clip.
I don't know what you're talking about. She literally could not formulate the question to ask him again. Did you mean to say Bo Nix? Like, are you sure?
Had her
She was
stuttering.
Jalen Watson
stunned.
said, "Hey, Reed was trolling y'all. Chill out."
She
I'm like, come on, Jalen. Come on,
she
bro.
reacted to his answer as if I'm not going to make that joke. She reacted to that answer as if Jesus Christ himself came down and walked on water in front of her. It was incredible, and I don't blame her because what? That doesn't
He
make
just
sense. I don't want to
that
get
boy
sad.
just walked on water. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that?
It
Hey,
was
bro, come back
insane.
over here. On the water though. Okay.
On the water.
Yeah, that was crazy. Because the first time I just turned the clip off, I didn't even watch the whole thing. Then the second time, okay, let me listen to this whole thing, and I was like, yeah, it's still a bunch of bull crap.
What's that? What's that
I had
meme?
to watch the
I
whole
have
thing just
become
for the
dumber since
reactions.
watching that answer.
Yes.
That was the dumbest answer. Yeah. Jesus
It's,
Christ,
it's
Justin
like, all
Reed.
right. So, yeah, man. With that being said, with the hires we have made so far, we saw
Wait,
Travis
sorry.
Kelce.
Hold on, time out. Before you
All
do
right.
this, so is it just the Cleveland thing with O'Shea that has you skeptical? Is my question.
I mean, yeah, but now that you mentioned with what he did in New England, playing with, I mean, coaching under a Belichick and being able to be in the same practice facility or same field as the greatest quarterback in the game at the time, I mean they gave me a little more they gave me a little more confidence there. That kind of
Good.
changed my
Edelman's
answer a little
video
bit.
gave me more confidence in him off
Yeah,
the
that
off
helped.
the
That
rip.
helped too because I had never seen Edelman talk about it. Whenever Edelman had described his development or anything that had been talked about, his profile and his come up, he had always talked about just being around Tom Brady a whole bunch as far as that aspect. So I'm glad that we actually do have evidence of him talking about what O'Shea brings to the table, and that helped too. So Chuck, I feel like it's more so that like you just have a lot of confidence in EB and you have maybe some moderate confidence as far as O'Shea is concerned. Would that be a fair way to say?
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it right now. But I am interested to see if Tom Brady gonna chime in on. I mean, we already heard from Edelman, we already heard from Gronk. I'm interested to see if Tom Brady gonna say something next now.
I don't.
I'm sure he will.
I mean, he is technically competing against us, so I doubt he will. But
It's gonna happen during the game.
Yeah, that is true.
It'll happen
we
during the
might
game.
see. We might get. Whenever Brady's on a call for one of these games, I'm sure they'll have a little something about O'Shea built in as far as the wide receiver conversation is concerned.
Yeah.
Chuck, do you have a short list for running back coach?
Shout out if you do. I know you asked for
really
that, Coach.
don't. I really don't.
I did ask you that today.
I'm not deep in the weeds enough to have a running back list. To be perfectly honest with you,
I seen some. Deuce Staley was always a name.
Yeah.
Dylan McCullough.
Yeah,
that was
Dylan
here
McCullough
before.
could possibly come back too.
Yeah, I don't know if that's.
Was he?
Saw.
I legitimately do not know. Was he here with JC? Is that why his name's coming up?
He was here.
He was here with JC.
It was Kendrick and Spencer Ware, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't he here with?
Yeah. He was there with those guys. And I think he was here. Wasn't he here like during Kareem's rookie year too? Before he left?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
so
I mean, sounds like a good name to me.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
I always have whenever you're talking about I wouldn't say wide receiver. Whenever you're talking about positional coaches and you're pointing to different success stories, I'm always a little bit cognizant of who you're pointing to as a success story. Because if you're, I'm not using this example because you worked with him specifically, but I don't think he even counts anyway. But if you're like, hey, the guy that was the wide receiver coach while Randy Moss was in the Vikings, let's go hire him. Respectfully, that doesn't do anything for me. Randy Moss is Randy Moss. He would have been Randy Moss even if he went anywhere on the world, got coached by any wide receiver coach because he's 6'5", could jump over anybody and is faster than all of the DBs. So you got to be very specific. And the reason why I say this because like, hey, coaching Jamal Charles and that helps. That's one thing. But Jamal Charles also has one of, if not the most unique acceleration things that provided him something that was astronomical and why he, in my opinion, is a Hall of Fame running back. So necessarily teaching him doesn't help him all that much. Now, that being said, I'm sure if you ask Adrian Peterson, hey, did EB help you as a running back? The answer would be yes. So sometimes even if you have a guy that is astronomically talented, you can still help with the little things along the way. So Yeah, I don't have a good running back list. I'm not deep enough.
Yeah, me either. Maybe
Yeah.
Thomas Jones would come in and punch somebody in the face.
Oh God.
The minute you run up on the guard.
Anyhow,
Did
let's
you just run up
transition.
on Trey Smith's back?
Anyhow,
I'm
so
sorry. That's
so
hilarious, Chuck. I don't care.
Is EB not going to de facto be the running back? Don't get me wrong. Like we'll see.
That's true too.
But isn't EB? I don't want to make it sound like that. EB almost has to be the running back coach in some respect, right? Like
He's both.
he could hold another title because I mean we've seen it with.
I'm not saying by title. I'm just saying if we go to training camp and for God knows whatever reason the running back coach misses something, EB is going to be literally right there yelling at the running back. I promise you. He wouldn't, and he couldn't hold himself back from doing so. So I'm not necessarily the wide receiver coach matters way more to me than the running back coach for this specific reason. Now that EB is offense coordinator, it's all I was trying to say.
Could that be a part of your new voices? Would that count if your running back is somebody that's not in the system or a little outside of the system? Yeah, or it's not a lot of weight or nothing like that, but it is like at least a new.
That's the other thing. The whole new voice thing. Because I think Eric Bieniemy is going to do an amazing job at holding guys accountable, and that's why I said if he was the assistant coach / running back coach, then I think it would still accomplish similar things. But the new voice thing is not for guys to hear a new voice; it's for the evolution of the system. So
yeah. They call it fresh eyes on the wire. I'll tell you something we all agree on. Dave Tove should not be here no longer. I don't know how he skated past. And that's Andy, you are loyal. Sometimes you are loyal to a fault, my friend. Dave Tove should have been let go this year. But anyway.
He can't have another season where it's a penalty every single time the special teams unit goes out. They just can't happen.
It just can't. It can't. He can't be middle of the pack on special teams. We can't be starting from the 5 and 8 and 12 every damn drive. We lead the league in yards per drive every time.
We was middle of the pack in special teams?
No. We were like 20.
Yeah, I say, hold on.
Like let's get to the playoffs.
All right, hold on real quick before we get to the playoffs because I was trying to transition. Before I kept getting cut off.
Go ahead,
but anyway, Travis Kelce, he heard the EB news. He talked about a little bit on New Heights. Said he's looking forward to seeing him back in the building. So it kind of hints to me that he gonna try to go back and run it another year, man. That's what it's kind of looking like to me. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on him possibly run it back one more time?
I don't think he's made a decision yet, bro. And I think people.
Yeah, it's not official, but
I think every word that Travis Kelce says is going to be looked at, analyzed, rotated, magnified, and microscoped until he makes an official announcement. And that's why I don't watch the podcast. I'm sorry, Trav. I love you though, but he might have got the words mixed up because last week it was he said us and not the Chiefs, or he said the Chiefs and didn't say. So it's like, yeah, they're gonna lean on that every week. Every week he's gonna say something, and it's gonna be taken as, oh, he don't want to play or he wants to play. So I'm really the only thing I want him to do is talk Jameis Winston into coming here as a backup quarterback next year, just for
I hope that does happen.
Entertainment purposes.
I mean, we'll have to give up a late round pick. You know,
no, I thought he ain't signed in New York, is he?
I thought he got one more year. I think I got one more year with the Giants. You free agent?
He signed a 1 year deal.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on home, baby.
I'm gonna double check that.
I mean, I'll double check.
I hear different stuff with Jameis. But yeah,
I'll double check.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all the Florida State guys.
We finished 19. No, you're right. Wow, it was a 2-year deal. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Oh, they have an out. They have an out if they want to get out of it.
We'll see if they want to.
Hey, Jim Harbaugh is Andy Friend. Come on, bro, make that call.
You mean John Harbaugh? But
John Harbaugh.
Yeah, Ron Harbaugh.
John, Jim, they cousins.
But I was gonna say something and I can't remember what I was gonna say. We finished 19th as far as DVOA special teams was concerned. So I guess in theory,
So
was technically
yeah,
by middle of the pack, but I just it was unacceptable.
It was
It
unacceptable.
was.
that didn't look like a middle of
Unacceptable.
the pack special teams just
That
from
looked like
watching it.
28th.
I
That
know.
didn't look like 19.
Yeah, in the 20
Some
somewhere.
bad
Yeah,
special teams.
yeah.
I mean, believe it or not, there is one special teams unit that is left in this field that is actually worse than ours. So take that for what it's worth.
Oh God, Raiders.
And
The
look,
Rams.
so
No,
Mac, you think
What
Travis
the-
running back one more year, man?
yeah, I think you will.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean,
I
this
think
is
that
looking like it.
I don't know. Now I don't know if he's going to do it, or I should say, I don't know if he's going to come back with a similar level because legitimately, from where he was in 2024, where it looked like things were like wheels were ready to come off. He legitimately came back with a different level than he had previously. So can he maintain that? Going to be a question mark. I think ultimately that he's going to come back for another year.
I just hope. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm in agreement with DG on this. If he does run it back for one more year, I just hope he's not the focal point of the offense. Because we've been trying to
That's why
We
you go
tried
get
to-
Chad O'Shea, bro.
look. We've been trying to steer away from that the past few seasons, and somebody would get hurt, or
Or suspended.
somebody would get suspended. You know what I'm saying? There's always something. So
Well, this is the other thing. We'll obviously talk about this.
Yeah.
We'll obviously
Yeah.
talk about this on Tell the Truth. I know you guys will as well, but they need a specific type of wide receiver, in my personal opinion, could come into this offense as well. And I think for
agree.
them to continue to evolve the offense, I think that they need a blocking tight end. Jared Wiley, I saw some flashes. With me, he would be a fourth tight end camp, competition type of guy. Same thing for Robert Tunyon. Same thing with Jake Brenningstool. They need a guy that can block at the tight end position. There are a few of those guys in the later rounds as far as the draft is concerned. There are guys that legitimately can block in line and then also provide the receiving upside of being starters in the National Football League too. That will go a little bit earlier in the draft from that aspect too. But that needs to be something that they would prioritize to the point where I would say I would go out and sign a blocking tight end for cheap in free agency and still give yourself the option to go and get one in the draft. If that came about. So that is one thing. And again, it's very little minor things, but if you're going to run this offense the right way, you need that, in my opinion.
So you're not signing Isaiah Likely.
No. I don't think likely makes sense unless Travis Kelce is going.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about to say.
I know. I was just gonna say he don't block, but
Man, no, he does not. And honestly, I would even say, and this is again a very niche scheme thing. I would even say the existence of Isaiah Likely in the National Football League, similar to Evan Ingram, isn't really valuable. The reason is because defenses have evolved to where the receiving only tight end, Travis Kelce is not a receiving only tight end, no matter how much people want to lie to you, doesn't have the value that it did previously because defenses are playing things differently as far as personnel is concerned. They know how to defend the run out of the nickel, and they can still have a guy that can cover your receiving only tight end out there, even so be it. So that's the thing about it. The Isaiah Likely's, the Evan Ingrams of the world are not necessarily as valuable because they don't provide the schematic advantages that even 3 years ago they did. So those are the things where I likely just wouldn't be the target. Kyle Pitts, not as valuable as he necessarily was. I know he played very well for the Falcons. I expect them to retain him regardless. But he's not that difference maker, especially versus the good defenses because of those things schematically. So no, likely wouldn't be my guy. My guy that I would go after is Chigakonkwo because I think he does play the inline tight end thing. The juice that he has after the catch and the ability to actually receive the ball, I think is really good. I think he's got a lot of untapped potential. And for a guy that does do really well with tight ends, I specify as far as Andy Reid is concerned, I think he would be a really nice addition to this offense too. So Chigakonkwo, just as a preview, is one of the guys that I would like us to bring in free agency.
Oh, that choose your off season is going to be amazing. It's going to be interesting.
Yes, and I want to make this clear. We've never said that Travis Kelce is the best blocking tight end, but we've made it clear that he does block. He does block.
He's willing to block.
He does block. May not be the best, but he does block. So
you're not going to necessarily have him in pass protection against an edge rusher. Guess what? Because he's catching the damn ball.
Yeah.
You're not pass protected because he's catching the football. That's the reason why. I don't care if you can block an offensive tackle, Darnell Washington. Go catch the football.
Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so yeah, the NFL playoffs, man, conference championship weekend, man. Patriots and Broncos.
Uh,
Jared Stidham, unfamiliar territory. He has started in the NFL before. He started a few games, but this is the biggest game he will ever play in his life as of right now,
yeah,
unless Denver somehow wins. The Patriots, Drake May, MVP candidate. As you guys saw earlier today, he's officially a finalist for that. Patriots last week, they won against the Texans, but Drake May got stripped like 4 times. I mean, we go back and look at the game, look at the film, like Drake May, hopefully he'll get a better feel of the pocket and maybe slide up in the pocket a little bit just so he won't get stripped. Cause you going against Nick Bonito this week too. And Will Campbell got his hands full over there too. So Drake got to learn how to slap in that pocket a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just so he won't get ripped. What's your guys' thoughts on this matchup?
it's gonna be ugly. I don't think it's gonna be a lot of scoring. It might be a 13-10 type of thing. I think it's gonna be ugly. Um, the Patriots, you cannot lose this Jared Stidham. I don't care if they had the 85 Bears out there as a defense. You cannot lose this game. Not to Jared Stidham. So stay alive long enough so the Rams can come smack your ass. But you got to win this game.
Pause.
But I think it's gonna be ugly, bro. I think it's gonna be an ugly game.
All
Go
right.
ahead,
What you,
D-Mac.
what you got on it, D-Mac?
But I think that the Patriots should handle. Now that being said, there is a pathway for the Broncos to pull off this upset that does exist. Um, Now it's difficult because they didn't run the ball versus the Bills well, which I think that is a bad because the Bills have a bad run defense, but their run offense is very shaky. I thought that would have been a good sign for them moving forward throughout the playoffs. Obviously, Bo Nix aside. So them not being able to do so, especially after the way the Patriots shut down the Texans' run offense, which had run very well against the Steelers' offense, the Steelers' defense, that's not a good sign for them. So that's always one. That's one aspect that is not necessarily going to help them. Sean Payton is going to have to scheme up some things for Jared Stidham to get to. It's important to note that Jared Stidham is somebody that he believed in because going all the way back to March 2023, he signed them with the limited starts that he had with the Raiders in the first day of free agency to be a backup option when he was first accepted the Broncos job to Russell Wilson because he didn't necessarily have full belief in Russell Wilson and knew he needed contingency playing behind him. And he believed in him enough to keep him on for this time. So there is some level of confidence as far as Jared Stidham is concerned. We know Sean Payton is a really good offensive mind, no doubt about that. So the ability to have those things is going to be the tougher thing. Can they, because their offensive line is good, can they bully the Patriots defensive line much better than the Texans necessarily did because their Texans offensive line is terrible. So can you establish some of the run? Because the Bills defensive line is it gives you a little bit of something as far as that's concerned. So can you establish the run? Can you get a little bit exposed to Jared Stidham? Can you make the game ugly? This is the pathway. That Denver defensive line, in my opinion, got bullied by the Bills offensive line. Lost in all the Josh Allen apologists and obviously the turnovers that were really ugly. That Bills offensive line, that is one of the best in National Football League, for everybody that lies to you and says Josh Allen has no help, is also one of the biggest in National Football League. And they have a size advantage on the Broncos, and they exercise that size advantage in the run game. That's why James Cook had the game that he did, and they exercised in the pass game. That's why Josh Allen had the time that he did. The signature of the Denver Broncos is that pass rush. They have got to get to Drake May every single down.
Did he go blank? What happened? Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
You
Sound kind of went out a little bit.
I thought somebody got you.
Right.
Yeah.
I say,
My phone decided to try and jump on and jump on for no reason. But that defensive line has got to dominate. They have to make Drake May uncomfortable. They have to harass him. They cannot allow him to get those explosive plays down the field. That is the biggest key of this. That defensive line has to have a Texans level performance. They have to be the signature as far as the game is concerned. If that happens, then they have a chance. If that doesn't happen, then Drake May is going to be comfortable. They're going to be able to get those explosive plays, especially if they get the run game going too. ultimately the Patriots should win this game, obviously, but there is a pathway if that Denver Broncos defensive line that, every single Denver fan for the past however many months said, we're on the level of the Texans, we're on the level of the Seahawks. This is the game that you have to prove it. And even if you don't necessarily win it, this is the game you have to harass Drake May enough, because that offensive line for the Patriots has been gettable. If you don't harass them the same way that the Chargers defensive line did, shout out to Jesse Mentor who got hired today, and the way that the Texans defensive line did, then that means that you guys, what your signature was, did not show up in the biggest possible game.
Yep.
Yeah. What is true is that New England has yet to win in Denver throughout their history in the playoffs. Surprisingly, they 0-4. Tom Brady never won in Denver, believe it or not. So Drake May got an opportunity to do something that no other Patriots quarterback been able to do. With New England's offensive line, hopefully they've gone over the film and see that they got to maybe change their slide protection, had they running backs chip more often in the backfield, because that Texas defensive line was getting whatever they wanted, basically, despite them losing to New England. And Denver's got a defensive line that I'm not saying Bonito and Cooper are on the same level as Will Anderson or Danielle Hunter, but they're just as good. So they got opportunity to wreak some havoc there. But I think at the end of the day, if New England can get some push, kind of like how Buffalo did, and be able to run the ball effectively, I think it'll open up for Drake May to, get some play action going, and then be able to hit guys like Diggs and Booty down the field, get Hunter Henry involved too. So at the end of the day, man, I just think Denver's offense is going to be in for one this time, because, you're going against New England defense that's much better than Buffalo's defense. Christian Gonzalez, obviously the shutdown corner. You got Milton Williams in the middle of that defensive line.
And he was talking too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he sure was. So I think New England finds a way to get it done. But Country said, it could be an ugly one. But
Oh, it's gonna be up.
New England should find a way to get it done. But this is the game I believe determines the Super Bowl winner right here, though, between the Rams and Seahawks. I mean, what you guys got in this one?
This is the actual Super Bowl right here.
I agree.
Rams versus Seattle. That's the Super Bowl. The other is a consolation prize. The real Super Bowl. We ain't even got a great halftime show. This I probably won't be watching this Super. Well, we might hate watch it. Man, I don't know who gonna win, because Seattle is playing out of their minds right now. They playing nice. They did lose a running back though, right?
Yeah, Charbonnet out for the rest of the playoffs.
Charbonnet is.
Yeah. Man, Seattle 34-31. That's not. I don't know. I want to say I have supreme confidence in the Rams, but I don't, because I've seen them in the AFC Championship game, and then all of a sudden they just be like, "No, we're not gonna block Jalen Carter no more," and I'll be like, "What the hell?" They just sometimes they make decisions, and you're like, "Why did y'all do that? It was working all night." So, I've been on the Rams winning the Super Bowl since we were effectively eliminated. But Seattle might surprise us, man. I really don't know who I got winning this game. But whoever wins this game is the Super Bowl champion. I will say that.
All right, Mac, it's on you.
Yeah, I'll say for me, this is a very difficult game for me to pick. I have been pretty adamant about, I think the Rams are the best team in the National Football League. I think they're well balanced. And I thought that balance really actually showed up last game, specifically because the offense didn't have its best day, no doubt about it. But the defense, I thought, really stepped up. I thought Spates had himself a really good game, specifically at second level. I thought the ability to play their zone coverages in tandem with the physicality that the Bears wide receivers brought into play, I thought was still very impressive. So their defense can show up like that again, then I think they can make things very difficult on Sam Darnold. And that happens, and I think that their offense can get after them in a similar way that they were able to put up points versus them the last matchup. So I think this is going to be an awesome game. I think it's going to be incredibly close. Obviously, the Seattle Stadium is going to be rocking. I'm going to stick with my pick of the Rams, but it would not surprise me if it's the Seahawks. In my personal opinion, this is just going to come down to Sam Darnold can lose this game for the Seattle Seahawks. But if he plays it down the middle where he makes a few mistakes, but also makes some plays like he had been throughout the entirety of the season, then if he doesn't lose the game for Seattle, then the question mark is going to be, is Stafford going to win the game for the Rams? That's what it comes down to, in my opinion. I think the Rams defense is going to play well enough to keep things close and put some pressure on Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold doesn't fold, then that means Stafford is going to have to be excellent ultimately for the Rams to move on. So that's kind of where I see this game going. But I think it's going to be very close and very fun. And I do think the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl as well. I agree with that.
Is Stafford going to Josh Allen his way through this game? Though that's another question.
What do you mean by that? Because I don't think he's going to make those mistakes. I hope not, at least.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Is he going to make some mistakes? Stafford ain't going to make. I believe in Stafford more than that. So.
Yeah, with me, man, Sam Darnold definitely is a big question because the Rams have had his number defensively. They've been able to make him turn the ball over multiple times in like the majority of these matchups. So I'm interested to see if Sam Darnold is actually going to be able to take care of the ball this time because he's going to be out without one of his running backs this time. I know they got a young running back from Boise State. I know his first name is George. I can't remember his last name right now. I know it started H, but I can't remember his last name right now. So he gonna have to step up.
It is. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm looking up. But the one thing I did want to say real quick, as far as Charbonnet was concerned, it's they have Velus Jones Jr. as the backup running back, but they may have somebody on the practice squad.
Velus Jones Jr.
Yeah, Velus Jones Jr. is the third string, and then they have Cam Akers on the practice squad. So we'll see if he gets elevated.
Oh,
the one thing, the one thing I'll say about Zach Charbonnet being out is I think obviously people will look at the 12 touchdowns. And it's possible that ultimately that does maybe harm them on the goal line. We'll see if that type of situation arises. But I think that they were using Charbonnet specifically to make sure that Kenneth Walker was healthy and fresh for this moment. So I don't think that it's necessarily going to have a massive impact on what the effectiveness is because just like they rode Kenneth Walker versus the 49ers, I expect them to ride versus Kenneth Walker versus the Rams too. So I don't think that that's necessarily going to change as far as that aspect. That's the only reason why I don't think Zach missing this game is that big of a deal, but we'll see if it shows up in a small moment on the goal line too. Sorry.
So when the heck they get Velus Jones Jr.?
They say he was a free agent.
They picked him off when he on the Bears practice squad.
Yeah, I remember him. He was on the Chicago Bears. I don't remember him getting picked up anywhere.
he was released.
Was he a wide receiver at first?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he's from Tennessee.
They did the Chicago Hard Knocks. He was featured on, but he was signed to Jacksonville last year, and then he signed in Carolina, and then in the offseason, New Orleans signed him, and they kept him on until October, and then they released him, and then Seattle signed him to the practice squad.
That practice squad life was tough, bro.
Yeah, it's like the one. I feel like that dude was out of the league already.
That boy been on a quarter of the league already. He only been in the league 4 years.
Right, but anyhow, man, that's a fair point you just mentioned there, D-Mac. So Kenneth Walker is coming off a huge game. I don't know if he'll duplicate that again because the Rams they a little tougher to run on. So there is that. I'm interested to see how the Rams
much tougher to run on than Niners. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see how they plan on taking JSN out the game. I know that's very difficult to do. He may get his catches still, but it's just a matter of him not being able to get many yards after the catch. That's the main thing.
Amber Alert is crazy.
Yeah.
There's an Amber Alert going on right now. I don't know if y'all aware, but it's crazy.
Okay. Well, I got my phone on silent. Yeah, that's pretty.
Okay.
All right. So, but yeah, on the Rams side though, man, I know Puka has been a problem for Seattle so far this year.
225 yards the last time that they saw him, by the way, without Devontae Adams out there.
Right, exactly. So I'm interested in do the pick your poison thing and try to take him away and see if they decide like, look, Devontae, you got to beat us. I'm interested to see how the Rams gonna try to scheme things up defensively, but at the end of the day, man, it's gonna come down to, of course, time possession, win turnover battle. This is a really difficult game for me too, but I'm gonna stick with the Rams. I picked them to win the Super Bowl before the playoffs even start. I'm gonna stick with that, but I wouldn't be surprised by either result, man. Either team is gonna win the Super Bowl. That's just how I'm looking at it. I think we're gonna get a hell of a game.
We all know who Trey rooting for, bro.
Oh yeah, that doggone hoodie, man. Yeah, that Trey. I'm sorry, Trey. Trey, you gotta get
Trey's a
slandered some
gambler,
more for
bro.
that,
He's
dog.
Skinny Rogers, bro.
Yeah, that was
Hey, I
disgusting.
will say this quickly. Um, that Indiana Miami, that was a hell of a game, hell of a second half. What's the kid's name? Mendoza.
Yep.
Mhm.
Whoo, man! I can't wait to start breaking down film on that guy because we gonna see him a lot. Because he's going to if the Raiders don't screw the pooch on this, but
Right.
that kid was very focused. He looked better. He looked way better than Carson Beck. Carson Beck was, man, I seen what you were trying to do, bro, but that you got to have a better throw than that. But that was a hell of a game. Ruben Bain is everything they say he is. What's the other kid's name? D-Mac? The
Akeem
old dude.
Mesidor. Akeem
Yeah,
Mesidor.
Messidor. He nice too, man, but he's 25. And he'll be
I
30
think
before the end of his rookie deal.
I think he's
which is
still. I think he's still a well worth, the day 2 pick. That's just. I think that's just what he is when he has that capped of a ceiling. But he can help a team. I definitely think he can. The one thing I did want to say is watching the all 22 back of that game. Just you can see at the end of when confetti is going off, everything. That entire Indiana offensive line goes up and daps up Bain, Mesidor, and that defensive line for the Miami because that hurricane and trench battle right there, that was awesome to watch, and it was a war the entire of the game. You tell there's a lot of mutual respect between those two units. That was cool to see after the game ended.
I don't care if Bang got 25-inch arms. That boy a beast. It is that boy is that kid is a beast. He different. He different. And I don't even see no way he gets the 9, but he different, bro. It's just that's crazy. He was killing. He was
Absolutely.
forced all by himself.
And that kid Pons from Indiana, man, he's a little guy,
He
but
nice too, man.
yeah, he can play some ball, man. That kid tough.
I like Tony too. Malachi Tony. Is he related to Kadarius Tony for real?
I don't
that
think
was
so.
I heard. Okay.
I don't
He
think
just got the
so.
last name Tony.
But yeah, he a true freshman, so yeah, we got to wait on him for a bit before he get to the league. But yeah, the kid, he
Man,
already special. He's already
young guy.
special. But yeah, man, shout out to Indiana for winning the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Kirk
They had
Cignati,
some old people on that team too, bro. I seen
Kirk
somebody
Cignati,
daddy on that team.
Kirk Cignati. It only took 2 years for Kirk Cignati to win in Indiana, bro. Like that's really crazy, man. Like
Y'all want to
Indiana,
hear something? Sorry, go keep going, Trey.
because Indiana, man, like nobody thought of them ever as a football school. They was historically known as a basketball school. Like
It was
nobody
Isaiah
thought,
Thomas school. That was
right?
it.
They
And
had
Bobby Knight.
they had as many New Year's Six Bowl wins this year than they have in the entirety of their school's history. They had as many top 10 wins this year as they have in their entirety of their
Show,
school's
Chris.
history.
Yeah, Fletcher is nice too.
And Fletcher is nice. So yeah, I mean it was a dream season. The only thing I wanted to say that it's funny as far as snap weighted age was concerned. Georgia was actually an older team than Indiana. So
Really?
it's just it doesn't because of and understandably they had older players about it. They were 20 as far as snap weighted age was in D1 football.
Okay, there you go.
Everybody makes it seem like they had a whole bunch of old guys on the roster, which to an extent, yes, but that's not why they won. They had, a good mix of some younger dudes and some old guys. It was just Kirk Cignati coached these guys up to the level that they were and did an amazing job, man. And they were the most physical team all year, and they were the best team all year. And they completed one of the most impressive college football seasons in history.
Their coach is hilarious. Is the looks and the body language, and he like Dan Aykroyd. Their coach is hilarious, but he was all business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, business. Man. A movie is definitely gonna
that
get
Becker
made.
Kid, that one catch he made on what was like a third down or something. I'm like, oh boy, yeah.
Oh, the back shoulder. Yeah, that back shoulder. Yeah,
it wasn't even a back. It wasn't even a great pass. It just was his adjustment was crazy.
I think Mendoza and Baker might have drew that up intentionally. Personally.
You think so?
Yeah.
Mendoza gonna be a problem, man. We'll see how he look on the next level, but
yeah, but yeah, this Indiana Hoosier team, there's definitely gonna be a movie made about them, no question about it. Like you see, like NIL aside, we know NIL has its flaws and stuff, right? But in the college football playoff, about them expanding it even more and all that stuff. I mean, I wish they would kind of stop doing that. But with that being said, this college football playoff has done is you get stories like this. You see a school that come out of nowhere that you don't think has a chance to win it all, and they get it done. Now, granted, yeah, Indiana was one of the top teams all year long, but there was still some doubters. Like they didn't think they would get this far and win the whole thing still, and they did it. So,
They kicked their ass, bro.
but yeah, we done had this thing for almost 2 hours, man. I'm going to pay some bills,
Yeah,
get
we
out of
out
here.
here.
All right, so shout out to the good people Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code KingdomCast. That's KingdomKast. All in one word. You bet $5, you get $75 of bonus funds, bonus credits. So yeah, you download it on Apple Store or Google Play. You want to give it a try. Again, download Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code KingdomCast. All in one word to sign up. All right. That being said, anything else you want to tap into before we get up out of here? Pedro
That's
Pascal.
funny. And he gonna win a Oscar for that shit too, bro.
Pedro Pascal. That's great.
Pedro Pascal is in every movie ever made, bro. He's good though. He's good though.
Yeah.
So,
All
all
right.
right, man. We out, man.
Yeah,
We
we
done
got it
2
here,
hours.
man. Like, thank everybody for
We've
tuning in,
exhausted the Airy
man.
Fairy talk. We ready to go.
For sure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share all your social media platforms. People, you watch us on Twitter, please hit the retweet like button, share it everyone that you know. And when this video goes off on YouTube, please hit the hype button and the like button as well. Till the next one, we out of here.
Yeah, we need 2 subscribers. I'm just tired of seeing 1538. I'm tired of it. Please, just 2.
Yeah,
You ain't got to watch. Just subscribe.
let's make it 1738. Let's do that. All right.
Okay.